All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Stew. Today, we are going to be talking about some pretty hot information. So, for those of y'all that don't know, or really to fill everyone in, our main football team is the Dallas Cowboys,
Yes, sir.
who have now just gotten Trey Lance for a fourth round draft pick. And I guess I want to start with you, Austin. How do you feel about this affecting the Dallas Cowboys? Where do you think Trey Lance kind of plays a part in his role now with the team?
I think this was an excellent move by the Dallas Cowboys. Say whatever you want to say. The Dallas Cowboys are a very well-ran organization. Even though we haven't made it to a conference championship in 28 years, we're consistently good. We just can't get over that hump for whatever reason. But I think this is a great move because Dak Prescott, a lot of people don't know this. In his contract ends in 2 years. After this year, he's going to want an extension. He's got a weird thing in his contract that the Cowboys can't put him on a tag. So they're either going to have to extend him or move on from him for nothing. So Dak Prescott is going to be 31 at the end of his contract. Basically, most quarterbacks, not most, but 31 years old is like still prime years, and Dak Prescott isn't a bad quarterback. He's going to have all the leverage in the world. So think about it. We got Trey Lance for a fourth round pick, and I feel like the risk to reward ratio is very high in terms of what he got drafted at number 3 for, his upside. And if we can and Dak and him play very similarly. So if we can keep him on the roster, kind of learn a thing or two from Dak, keep him in the system, get him going. Maybe Dak goes down inevitably like he does every year. Maybe throw him in the fire, give him a shot, see what he can do. San Francisco moved on from him after 8 games, and he did break his leg, which was tragic. But they found their guy. They didn't really want to deal with him anymore, which I understand. I personally think they jumped the gun a little bit. Some people don't. But I feel like in terms of value, what we gave up for what he could potentially be is not much. So I think it was a great trade. What about you?
You said some people don't think that the 49ers jumped the gun, and I'm one of those people. So we talked about this a bit off camera when the news initially dropped. I guess that was like Friday, Saturday?
I think it was Friday.
One of those
Friday night.
days, and we kind of talked about it for just a little bit. But they had him in practice. They were practicing with him and determined that he wasn't even good enough to beat out Sam Darnold. So, and obviously it's just practice. It's just a preseason. So, like, that could change throughout the course of a standard NFL season. But, like, they let him go. If they thought he was going to be good enough, they'd have kept him.
Can I add one thing just in between your sins? I'm sorry. One thing I do want to point out is whenever he hasn't practiced at all this offseason. They haven't even been practicing him. But how did last year Trey Lance started for the 49ers last year. In last preseason and last offseason, how was he the number 1 guy and that good? What's changed? Why isn't he him anymore? What don't we know? What makes Sam Darnold beat him out for the second spot? That's what I'm kind of curious about. So maybe there's some things we don't know. Maybe he really did stink it up, but there's no recordings or anything of him practicing this offseason. So I'm kind of interested to see what happens there, but you're definitely right. Like, they must have not liked what they've seen to move on from him for a 4th round pick. Continue.
So to, I guess, kind of read off some of the stats that I have, in the 8 games played that Trey Lance has, 54.9% pass completion, 797 total yards, averaging 7.8 average yards a game, and has 5 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. So it's not terrible. Like, he doesn't, like, on paper, he doesn't look like a garbage guy or anything.
It's also not great.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It doesn't look worse than Sam Darnold. Like, that's what really blows my mind so much about the whole situation is how Sam Darnold's now on his third team and managed to beat out a guy that they gave up heaven and earth to go out and draft, that is what makes me kind of lean towards your thinking, where it's like, okay, maybe that was a little bit early because you gave up everything to get him, and then we're okay with Sam Darnold beating him out after one preseason, like one training camp.
That, or the point you made, they just don't like what they've seen. So it's a coin flip, man. I don't know what's gonna happen with him, but like I said, I don't mind giving up a 4th round pick, which will be, I don't know, like pick 150 to 160 or something like that. Like that's not bad for a dude that went number 3 2 years ago.
So from the 49ers, it's kind of baffling to me how they ended up letting him go. Even more baffling for me is what on earth he's supposed to come in and really do for the Cowboys for even the next 2 years, because we still got Cooper Rush, who's definitely going to be our number 2 guy. I think if Dak gets hurt this year, I think they put Cooper Rush in before they try to test the waters with Trey Lance, especially if we're on a roll.
Yeah, well, also, I mean, Cowboys tend to blow teams out during the season. I mean, we're beating a team really bad at halftime. Throw him into the fire. See what he can do. I would keep Cooper on the sidelines and don't risk injury at all for when Dak actually gets injured during the season. And I mean, maybe they throw Cooper Rush and he's not playing too. Like they can do something with him, but I think it's more like they want him to learn from Dak, and then the final year of Trey Lance's contract, and that'll be the last year of Dak's, which they could potentially trade him. I don't think they will, but they could if they don't like what they see this year. Like this year is a really big year for Dak in terms of if he gets extended or not. But I feel kind of bad for him because he is going into a QB room where the number 1 guy is solidified and the number 2 went 5-1 last year. Like Cooper Rush's spot is not at risk. But also, I feel bad for him, but as a Cowboys fan, I like it because it's good knowing that you got a guy like that sitting in the background, soaking up information, getting into the offense, and you never know what could happen. He's super young. Aaron Rodgers behind Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers sat out for a while.
Okay, but we're not gonna say that Trey Lance is taking notes from a guy as good as Brett Favre, dude. Like I'm admittedly nervous that he's behind Dak, having to watch what Dak's doing. Yeah, because like Dak gives up the football like he's Oprah. Like I'm scared for that. I'm scared for that to rub off on Trey Lance.
We're so unbiased because we have to watch Dak every week play, so we really know. But in the grand scheme of things, Dak is a top 12 quarterback in the NFL. So I get what you're saying. But yeah, he's not a Brett Favre. But my point is just let him soak up some information about the Cowboys offense and give him a shot. I mean, you never know what could happen. Brock Purdy got his shot. So we'll see what happens. But I think it was a good trade for the Cowboys.
Yeah, value-wise for the Cowboys, they definitely, like, it's a plunge that, quote-unquote plunge, because they're really not giving anything up for a chance to get a guy who could be another franchise quarterback, because he still has the opportunity to grow into that guy. He's only been this is going to be coming into his 3rd year at this point, so like he's still got time to show everyone what's going on and what he can do. I will say I am really ready to get off of Dak. Like I'm ready to watch another quarterback with a star on his helmet at this point. So the fact that we even went out to get a guy like Trey Lance that was so highly rated coming out of college, just that alone makes me excited. Whether or not it's going to be he gets a chance to play this year or another 2 years or whenever, just the fact that we have the option that we don't have to necessarily worry about having to work with Dak for another however many years and deal with Cooper Rush as still our backup, even though he's solid. Yeah. Just knowing that we have a chance to have another franchise guy to come in is what I'm really excited about the most. Well, regardless, you guys let us know what y'all think down in the comments below. Do you think Trey Lance could still have the opportunity to be the guy? What do you think his role is on this Cowboys team as we really kind of shoot to go get a championship another year? As much as every year is the Cowboys being we them boys, like, we're at least in the running every year. Like, it's not like we're terrible like the Houston Texans or something like that, saying like this is our year. Like we're a decent team every single year. But anyway, y'all let us know down in the comment section below, and we'll see y'all next video.
Appreciate y'all. Leave a like if you want.